This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
6 years after a black St. Louis police officer was beaten by 5 of his white colleagues, we've learned the police department is jump-starting an internal investigation. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Luther Hall was working undercover as a protester in September 2017 when he says he was assaulted during an arrest. Our Christine Byers is here with exclusive new details that she's learning tonight about the case. Christine.
And a lot has happened since then, including a federal investigation. And now that that's over, it's the police department's turn to hold its officers accountable for violating internal policies. Here's a look at what Detective Luther Hall looked like following that arrest attempt. In all, 5 officers were federally indicted for the beating. 2 officers pleaded guilty, 1 was acquitted, and another went to prison, and the 5th got probation. In February of 2021, the city settled a lawsuit with Luther Hall for $5 million. And earlier this year, Luther Hall's attorney tells me Hall retired after his workers' compensation ran out and his disability was approved. A police department spokesman tells me the department opened an internal investigation after the assault, but the feds told them to stand down until they could complete theirs. In a statement, the department confirmed it, quote, continued our internal investigation once the investigation and criminal trial proceedings by the Department of Justice were concluded.
Do we know how many officers have been told to come to Internal Affairs?
So far, internal sources and sources familiar with this investigation have told me there are at least 10 officers who have been asked to return to Internal Affairs and give statements, and some of them are retired, including Larry O'Toole. Now, he was the interim police chief when all of this went down. Coming up at 6, I'll have reaction from Luther Hall's attorney.
All right, Christine, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, tonight, fire crews tell us a home explosion in Granite City was likely caused by a hot water heater. The home exploded overnight near St. Clair and Dale Avenues. It's now a total loss. The homeowner works overnights and was not home when it happened. One neighbor tells us his home was damaged too. He had left about 20 minutes before the explosion happened.
Coming home and seeing this was, like I said, you know, count your blessings, you know, because you're not guaranteed tomorrow, you know, so anything could happen at any time. So, but like I said, thank God everybody's okay.
The ATF and the Granite City Fire Department are still investigating. Now to our weather first forecast. It's a windy and warm day, so let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo. Jim?
Yeah, today's a nice break, Mike. As you noticed yesterday, that breeze gust over 30 miles an hour, and same with today. Those gusts as high as about 30 miles an hour. Right now at Lambert, 31 miles an hour. So that's one of the stronger gusts that we've had throughout the day. The wind will die down this evening, but it is pleasant out there considering what's coming our way for Thursday and Friday is high heat and high humidity. So right now it's 87 and that humidity is down at about 36%. Very comfortable. Notice the dew point is below 60. So the wind relaxes tonight, especially after midnight. Low temperatures everywhere in the 60s in St. Louis at about 68 with a light wind. And here's this huge dome of high pressure. It's been baking Texas, and a lot of either heat advisories or excessive heat warnings. We will likely see that as we get into Thursday and Friday. So it's a weather alert day for both days. High temperatures near 100, heat indices as high as 107. I'll have much more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. Across the country, Starbucks workers are striking for better pay and support. It comes as unionized employees are demanding a contract negotiation. Our Justina Cornell stopped at the coffee chain on Kings Highway in Chippewa, where dozens made their voices heard.
In the St. Louis region, 4 strikes happened Monday morning and afternoon. I'm told besides contract negotiations, Starbucks workers also believe that there's been a lack of support for their LGBTQ employees. The union Starbucks Workers United organized this push. More than 300 stores have voted to unionize since 2021. However, Starbucks and Workers United have not agreed on a contract yet. And some employees claim the company is threatening workers' access to gender-affirming health care and refusing them to put up pride decorations. These allegations come after brands like Target and Bud Light have faced backlash for showing LGBTQ support during Pride Month. I spoke to one barista who works at the Richmond Heights location. Lee Webb says the support on Monday was overwhelming. overwhelming.
Being a unionized store, but having no contract, and knowing that everyone is pushing for a contract and that we're fighting so hard for a contract, but I just don't see the fruits of our labor. But when we come out here and we all stand and we're all holding these signs and we're all full of this passion and energy, this feels like the most diverse group of people all coming together under one umbrella of we are fighting for a better working condition.
In a Starbucks news release, it says it unwaveringly supports its LGBTQ employees, and there's been no change in their policy. Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
Tonight, we're getting a look at the only Boeing commercial plane with parts made here in St. Louis. It's called the Boeing 777-9. Today, it visited the Boeing facility in Berkeley for the first time since production. Workers there made all the flaps on the wings that help make the plane fly and more.
We are so excited for the 777X to be here with us in St. Louis. Here we build all of the flight control surfaces, the elevator and the rudder, so think anything that moves during flight on the airplane. And we are just so excited to be here with the airplane. Our employees are so proud of the work that they do, so to see it here in person is just an awesome experience for them.
The plane can seat more than 400 passengers.
You can now travel from St. Louis to Chicago in under 5 hours. Today, a high-speed rail started, allowing Amtrak to reach speeds up to 110 miles per hour. That's about 20 miles per hour faster than the current limit. The first train took off to St. Louis earlier today. Leaders celebrated the new high-speed rail at Chicago's Union Station. That's one of the busiest hubs in the country.
Investments like these not only connect our cities, they allow our residents to access new jobs and to start new businesses. And they bring neighborhoods and cities closer together to collaborate for the betterment of our entire region.
The project that made this possible also has another purpose: to make safety improvements.
Well, this was the first weekend with expanded late-night hours for recreation centers in the city of St. Louis.
Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is live downtown with more on how well it worked this weekend. Mark.
Ann and Mike, if Mayor Tashara Jones wanted to keep kids away from violence through the means of these recreational centers, she may need to find ways to draw bigger crowds. Her office counted just 2 or 3 teens in that 15 to 19-year-old age range at those recreational centers this week. But when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, there are some silver linings in St. Louis's crime statistics lately. Our 5 on your side recently obtained a CompStat printout from the St. Louis Police Department from earlier this month. It shows murders are down 4% this year compared to last, robberies down 23%, felony thefts down 40%. But get this, a 56% spike in stolen cars, above last year, which was already alarming. A lot of suspects involved in those carjackings or car thefts are younger. That's one more reason the mayor's office is promoting these after-hours rec centers to draw teens in. This first weekend was a bit of a bust with low turnout, but the mayor's office of Children, Youth, and Families is preaching patience, urging skeptics to give their plans time to work.
Many kids who may carry weapons with the intent of using them, they're usually not alone. They're usually with groups of other kids who then look at them and look to them and maybe even look up to them, and may result in them engaging in that similar behavior. So these types of events are meant to pull kids away who don't have anything else to do but see these kids every day.
At just about the halfway point of the year, the police department is also reporting one of the highest murder clearance rates they've seen in 2 decades. Many officers in the department feel that enhanced abilities to gather surveillance footage to help build their case is part of the reason why they're seeing success in solving murders. Reporting live downtown, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
A major aerospace plant in Hazelwood is closing for good. How many workers in our area will be impacted?
Our Verify team looks into a plug-in device that claims to save you money.